Hi everybody, thank you for tuning into another video on TK's Tech Corner. Today we're going to be looking at another gaming controller. Again, this is not a mobile game controller. This is yet another controller aimed at primarily at the Nintendo Switch. But it is also compatible with other platforms such as Windows platforms. Therefore, you could use it on something like your Steam Deck, for example. So this is a pro version of a controller that I did a review on very recently. So that controller here is the EasySMX T37. This one here is still by EasySMX. This is their T39 Pro controller. Again, a wireless controller that supports both Bluetooth and wired connectivity through USB-C for multiple platforms. We're actually going to try this out on probably on Android today as well, which we didn't do with the T37. So just to prove that they do work on other platforms and not just the Nintendo Switch. And we'll compare the controllers, we'll compare them to the Nintendo Switch Pro controller as well. Just trying to get this out of the box and I'm clearly struggling. Right, just to read through and just label some differences between the controllers. So what is it that you get from the T39 Pro that you don't get with the T37? So the T39 Pro has Hall effect joysticks now. It uses the same button style, which is the conductive adhesive pads. This one now is listed to have linear triggers. So previously we had non-linear trigger, just standard button or just standard button pads there. These ones have actually got a linear trigger, so they should be analog, I suppose. And we'll just check those out and verify them as well. As with this one, you've got a 6 gig gyro. Again, exactly the same button layout. So I'm guessing from a Sashi perspective, the layout is mostly the same, maybe slightly different texture and feel and look to it. We've got 4 levels of motion rumble. So I think this one had that as well. I may have forgotten to mention, but I think this one's got 4 levels of vibration sensitivity that you can adjust as well. This one also has that feature. It's got an extra programmable button on there, which we can see at the front there, and we'll see that when we get the pad out. Built-in NFC. So I did mention in the previous video, if you're watching this video for that purpose, you can see that this has got built-in NFC as well now. So if you want to use your amiibos, you can, exactly like the Switch Pro controller. So this is marrying up more and more to the original Pro controller now. And you've got Hall effect joysticks, so no worry about any sort of joystick drift there. You're not going to get any drift. Also has turbo mode, exactly like the T37 had as well. So a few welcome enhanced features. Let's get this thing out of the box and let's see how it compares to the other two controllers. I'm expecting to see a USB-C cable and some paperwork, exactly like we did with the previous controller. So let's just talk about color options. So this one comes in mint green and misty purple. This one comes in one color option, but it's actually really nice. So immediately as I'm looking at it, what I'm seeing here is it's got a sort of, it's got a dual construction there. It almost looks like there's a case on there, but there's not. So you can see that translucent sort of outline. That is the actual case. So that is the actual joypad. It's got a very, very, very smooth finish. No textured grips like this one or the Pro controller, but very nice all the same. Nice and smooth. And I think what they refer to this as a dual structured sort of faceplate there and a gradient metal texture to it. So you can see that gradient look coming out there just as the lighting's falling on it. It is a bit darker on the grips and it's got a lighter color on the face there. This is only available in this one color option. As for the buttons, just like this one here, we're getting exactly the same conductive adhesive pads. Hall effect joysticks, the joysticks do feel different. They feel a lot less resistive, very, very smooth. Now, I've got to say it, these joysticks feel even better than the Switch Pro. My opinion only, personal opinion, USB-C cable. These feel a lot smoother and nicer. Well, it's new as well though. Then this, there's a little bit more resistivity, just ever so slightly, but these feel buttery smooth, absolutely beautiful, and that's just what you love with Hall effect sticks. Let's go over to here now. Now, I didn't know about this when I did the review for this, but I mentioned when I reviewed the T37 that in my opinion, even though they're fine, they're comfortable to use, the bumpers were smaller. I like wraparound bumpers. Now they haven't gone crazy on it, but look what they've done. They've made bigger bumpers, and you know the best thing is, you can press them. Well, I can. I can press them the way I like to press them, which is exactly there. So they feel nice. Not gonna lie, this is so far so good. They feel really nice, and thank you EasySMX for doing that. You just read my mind. I asked for bigger buttons, and you delivered them in the new controller without even knowing. I didn't even get to you. So look at this. How nice is that? Analog triggers. We've got analog triggers now. Now something I do notice is a slight different shape to the triggers. Which ones did I prefer? I think I prefer the shape of the old ones. These ones have got a nice texture to them, and they haven't got any sort of an angle or anything funky going there. The Pro controller's got a bit of an angle here. I don't know if you can see that properly or not. It's got a tiny little, like a ridge. I don't know if it's designed for your finger to sit in. It's not uncomfortable. It's just, I think it was a bit unnecessary. They could have done without it. But I like the shape of the triggers, as with the non-linear ones and with the Pro controller. They're angled enough such that if you're, gaming away aggressively, let's get this out of the way, your fingers are not going to be slipping off of these triggers. I can assure you, they have got a lot of angles. So even when they're fully depressed like this, your fingers are not slipping off, right? Very, very nice. D-pad is exactly the same as the T37. It feels great, as does the one on the T37. As I mentioned previously, it's a full-size D-pad and full-size sticks, full-size controller. Let's just verify that the button layout is exactly the same. I'm doing it in a cheap way. I'm just trying to make sure that the analog triggers, so the analog sticks, sit on top of each other. If they do, spacing is identical as far as I'm concerned. This pad is using exactly the same layout as this one, and they both use exactly the same button layout as the Switch Pro controller. The only thing that isn't the same is obviously the home button and these plus minus buttons and the capture buttons. Minor differences. These are the ones you mainly use when you're gaming. One thing I do notice that has disappeared is these four connectivity lights that you've got on your Joy-Cons and also on the bottom of the Switch Pro controller. I think they might have been replaced by this thing here, so I don't know if that's going to pulse up and down. We'll find out in a minute when I press the home button. Before I do that, let's just talk about this little button here. This button here is the turbo button. Sorry, this is a programmable button. So in addition to the turbo button that we experimented with on the E37, and we will test it out on the T37, we'll test it out on the T39 Pro as well. We've also now got a programmable button, so there's going to be some element of probably holding a combination of buttons and allowing this to do one other function from one of these buttons. So you're mapping that button, and the benefit of this is you could map a macro. That's what I'm hoping to find, and we will try and find our way through with the instructions manuals to see if we can actually do that. So let's go and turn it on. Same on the top as well, USB-C. On the back of the controller, we're not seeing any, again, there's no buttons on the back. And I think the reason why they do this, and probably a valid reason, right, is with a lot of Pro controllers, like, the Elite for the Xbox and the Edge controller for the PlayStation and loads of third-party controllers, they have, and you see them on Steam Deck as well, for example, is they have the buttons here. Now, they're activated with paddles, and it can be that sometimes when you engage in a game, you grip a bit hard and you press the buttons in a way you didn't want to press them, and maybe you did something undesired. So you could, I can understand where you can get accidental button press from something on the back. The idea here is that it's fairly accessible anyway. It's not like it's well out of the way, right? It's just on the other side of the analog stick. But the idea being that that is not going to get an accidental press now, because you've got to be wanting to press that programmable button there as an extra button. Maybe they could have been, done with making it a bit bigger. Maybe I don't know. I think it would have been nice to have a slightly bigger button. It doesn't feel like a button that's purpose for gaming, more for like menu type functionality, because it's so small and it sits more level with the surface of the controller, I would like to see if there was a T39 or T40 Pro, for example, that, we saw the introduction of a slightly larger programmable button, and maybe two. Maybe we can have two somewhere. So just one for food for thought, EasySMX. They've got their logo on the home button, and they've also got their name of the company on the controller in the front this time. So now I think we should get rid of loads of packaging, and let's actually bring the Nintendo Switch in and try and pair this bad boy up, and let's see what happens. So hopefully it's going to be charged like the other two were. Let me grab my Switch into view and get this on. It's going to be on Zelda again. Yep. Right, so let's go home screen, let's go to controllers, and let's get this thing on. So I'm going to press the home button and see what happens. So the connectivity light is one single light now, and it's there. I'm going to press chain grip order. Now I'm going to probably have to hold it for the controller to appear like I did with the last one, so it's probably going to start flashing fast, I'm guessing. No, I've turned it off, so I'm going to hold it now while I turn it on. Yeah, it's flashing fast. Now I think that's going to put it into a pairing mode, and hopefully it's going to appear. And it has. Lights changed from a light pink color to a solid blue color now. It vibrated as it connected to the switch, and we're good to go. So let's go into Zelda. Again, it feels very natural. It really does. I'm not just saying this. It really does feel very, very natural. And we're in, right. So I'm not seeing the gyro controls work there. I don't know why. Maybe I need to do something to get them working. Oh, sorry, there I was doing something completely wrong. So you can see the gyros working absolutely fine there as well. No issues with this or the T37 on gyros. D-pad, absolutely fine. And we'll mess around with it a bit more as well. Let's see if we can... Oh no, I didn't do anything good there, did I? No, it broke. Oh yeah, I did. I got that thing that was zapping me when I was playing last time, but what did I do? Right. So that's working fine. Let's just check the turbo button as well. So as I showed you last time, it's going to work the same. Is if I press this, right? So you can see it's in turbo mode now. And then see what I'm not getting out of this one. What I was getting out of this one was I was getting different blinking modes to show that I was in turbo mode or what was going on, right? Or whether it was auto firing. This one I'm not seeing a light to indicate what's going on with the turbo mode. So EasySMX, again, if you're watching, maybe we could have some, blinking of that light. Wouldn't hurt, and it would be nice because it tells you what sort of turbo mode you're in. Otherwise, it's functioning exactly the same. So it cycles through either turbo, auto fire, or off for the button that you select it on. Now, I don't know what the programmable button is going to do. So I'm going to try and maybe hold the button. I might have to read the instructions for this, and then another button. Yeah, I'm trying to register some sort of program there. Maybe you've got to do it through an app. I don't know. I'll have a look at the instruction manual in a minute because it would be nice to test that, and then we'll go ahead and test it on the on a tablet as well, just to see how it works on another device away from the Nintendo Switch. As do both of them, by the way. So the bumpers are really comfortable on this one, even more so than the other one. They do feel really, really nice. I would love to understand how this tail button works, so I am going to read the manual just to find out what's going on there. I'm going to press turbo and press B for a little while. It's not vibrating or giving me any indication that something's happening. And I probably shouldn't expect anything to happen on that screen with the B button anyway. Let's just quickly test so that we can see this. The plus button, the minus button's working fine. Screen capture, I'm guessing, is going to be exactly the same again. So let's hit the screen capture button. Yep, capture taken. So screen capture is working as expected as well. One thing I should mention, and I didn't mention it with this one, but I'll say it, is the feedback on the actual click. So L3 and R3 is wonderful. It's not stiff at all. I would say it's lighter than the Pro controller. The feedback, it's actually yeah, tiny little bit lighter. Maybe it's new, I don't know. It is a little bit lighter though than the Pro controller from what I'm feeling right now. That's the vibe I'm getting. It feels a bit lighter to me. So there we go. Let's quickly see what the instructions manual is saying about the T39 Pro. We want to see what's going on with that turbo button. If it tells me quickly how to use the turbo button, I will test it out. I'll go through some of the other, sorry, not the turbo button, the program button. So M-Taste, it's called the M-Taste button. If I have to use an app to do so, then no problem. Let's have a quick look. You can see I've got the paperwork out. I don't often do this, but I have got it out. PC platform usage, iOS platform usage, it will work on iOS, Windows. Know that it will work on Android as well, and we'll test that. I really don't see any instructions here that will quickly tell me how to use what they call M button. I don't want to spend too much time flicking through instruction manuals whilst we're here. So if I have to do another video just to show you how to use the M button, I will. I really will. If you're interested in seeing it, let me know. Otherwise, I really don't want to waste too much time on this. I think I've read all the English instructions. I have. And oh, right. So you can turn off the diagonal direction function of the directional pads. That's interesting. So this diagonal, you can press a D-pad in diagonal mode. You can actually turn it off. When game does not require the diagonal function of the directional buttons, you can press and hold the T button for 5 seconds. The controller will vibrate to turn off the disabling of the diagonal function. That's really, really interesting. So if I hold the T button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's see if yeah, it vibrated. That means diagonal is, well, now it's going to use up and left, right. That's quite good because you may not want to use the diagonal directions on the. I'm holding it again 5 seconds. It's vibrated and it's on again. Right, the M button, the macro button. So it tells you how to use it here. It says supports commands including directional buttons A, B, X, Y, L1, 2, 3, R1, 2, 3, basically any button. So you've got to press the T button and the M button at the same time for 2 seconds. And then it enters a recording mode. So you can record macros here. So let's try it, right? I'm going to put that aside quickly. That's messy. And let's see. So if I want to do a macro, say I want to do this. I can't use the directional pad. I don't know if it's going to use my analog sticks, to be honest, but I'm just thinking what a macro I could try and record. Yeah, I could do something. I could do up, and I don't know. Maybe let's just try. Should I try dropping something? I can do up. No, I'm struggling. What should I do? What should I do? Does it tell me I can use the analog sticks or not? If it does, then I should try and do something with the analog sticks. It supports. Oh, it does. It includes left joystick, right joystick. Ah, okay. So I can hopefully record some macros here. So I'm going to try this. So I'm going to use left bumper. I'm going to go to fuse. And then I'm going to do that. So hopefully I can get into fuse mode just by pressing that. Let's see if that works. That would be quite cool. So turbo and macro for 2 seconds. It's vibrated. So now I'm doing that. I'm doing that. And I'm leaving it right. Now I pressed it again. Now let's see if that works. It does. So it's actually recording exactly with the delay that I recorded. So you saw that the way it carried out on the screen. Let's just check that again, right? So it's going to be as slow as I am in record. So I'm going to do that again. So let's see if we can speed that up. So I'm recording. Right. Now let's see what happens there. Now that was quick. Now that is useful. That is very useful in a game like this as well, where you're going to be using fuse a lot, or you might use something else and you might just want to get into fuse mode quickly. Look at that. Yeah, I like that. You can record macros, and I think you can record macros for up to how many seconds of macros? How long do you have to record? 60 seconds. You can record commands for up to 60 seconds. That is amazing. How awesome is that? Right? I like that. And you can also press the screenshot button and the M button at the same time. The button commands will be automatically triggered in turbo mode. So that's amazing. I like that. 60 seconds worth of macros. So yeah, that's brilliant. Really, really good feature. Hopefully we see a Switch Pro 2 controller coming out with some of these great features, turbo, macro. Oh, awesome. Let's try this on my tablet. So I'm gonna put that away. We know it's working. Shall I quickly test out some? Yeah, let's test out some snares. Why not? Let's quickly test out some snares. I don't think I'm gonna see. Maybe I can test out if diagonal's working or not. I don't know. It's gonna be so easy. Let's just go with Mario. As you can see, it's working absolutely fine. And, oh dear. Right. Okay. So, when you get your hand wrapped around this and it's feeling so nice, you don't think about the Pro controller when you're holding this thing. I'll be honest. Size same, weight. I think it's a bit heavier than this one was. Battery life. Let's talk about battery life. So again, 1300 milliamp hour battery here. You've got a 600 milliamp hour battery here, and you've got a 400 milliamp hour battery here. So this is sitting in between. USB-C charging, can be played wired or wireless. Price of this one is $33 roughly, and it's roughly $10 more expensive than this one here. So this is coming at about $23, and again $33 here. What else is there to say about this, right? So it's fantastic. It's a really, really good controller for that price. It's not breaking the bank, and for what you're getting for your money is you're getting a controller that's pretty much giving you now with the NFC, and the programmable buttons as well. It's actually giving you more than the Switch Pro controller for half the price. Almost, I dare say it's a no-brainer. If I was on the market and I was buying one, I had seen my video before buying it, I would probably buy two of these. Yeah, you've got two player, you've got a backup one. I would buy two of these instead of one of these. And if one breaks, it's easier to replace. Time will tell how long the battery lasts, but then 600 milliamp hours. I've never killed this in one sitting. It's in multiple sittings before the battery dies. So on that note, it should be enough for at least one sitting for a few hours because the batteries seem to last forever. Bluetooth, it's not using a lot of power. I think it will give you more than enough power for a good gaming session for a few hours, and you just drop it back on charge when you finished, and you'll be all right. You will be okay. All right, let's clear the desk. Let's get my tablet here, and let's go into a pairing mode. So I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to hold the button on there because I think it's going to turn it off if I hold it for long enough, and it has. Now I'm going to hold it to turn it on. Hopefully it goes into a pairing mode. Light is flashing white, pink. Oh, it's connected to my switch again. I do need to get it into a pairing mode again. I'm going to hold it to see what happens. I'll hold it for longer this time. I want to get this in a pairing mode so I can connect it to my tablet. Right, I think it keeps connecting to the switch. All right, I'm going to turn off the switch, I think, because I don't know what else to do to get it into a pair. There probably is a combination of getting into a pairing mode. I don't know what it is without reading the manual. I'm just going to turn this thing off. Maybe if I hold that for longer. All right, let's see what happens now. All right, it's come up, so I just held it for longer and it's got into a pairing mode again, which is fine. It means I don't need to turn the switch off. It's asked me to pair. I'm saying yes, pair, and it's paired. So it's on again. I've just installed Dead Cells on here before I recorded this video just to give it a test and see what happens. Hopefully it's going to work. It's asking me to download some additional stuff, which means I'm not as prepared as I thought I was. No problem. If it takes too long, I'm just going to go and play something else that hopefully supports controller input as well. This would have been a nice game to test out. In the meantime, you can see it is working. So working absolutely fine, both analog and digital. It'd be interesting to see what this if this turbo button is not doing. Hopefully, it's not doing what I thought it was going to do anyway. So that's fine. Well, which is what I recorded for the switch. So it's clearly reset itself once I've connected to another device, which is great. So let's get back to here. That's still downloading assets. Let's just try another game. But even if I don't try a game, not the biggest problem because I think it's going to work absolutely fine. As you can see, I don't think this game's going to support a joypad. If it does, I'll be very surprised. These games typically don't support joypads. Let's skip. Oh, it is. How wrong was I? So this is a vampire survivor type thing going on here, right? I'm going to turn this around because I'm all over the place. You can see it's detected the controller, ABX there as well. So this is I should turn the volume down a bit before I wake up my son. You got a vampire survivor type thing going on here. Great game if you haven't played it. Vampire Survivor, that is, I recommend you play it. And this also looks cool. Let's select, I don't know, there we go. So you can see what's going on there. This is working on my Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, Ultra, whichever one it is, I don't even know anymore. Lost track of everything. Not even S7, it's S8 Ultra. That's what it is. S8 Ultra. I skipped the ninth generation because it wasn't much of an upgrade. So there we go. I'm going to end the video. It's been going on for long. I will leave a link to this product in my description below. Really hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please leave a thumbs up and any questions in the comment section below. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel by hitting that button on the bottom right hand corner just to show some support and that you're enjoying the videos. And if you're interested in watching more controller videos, please stay tuned. I will be posting more videos on more controllers to come in the very near future. Thanks for watching. Take care and all the best.